When you talk about recordings in our days, it's always difficult to decide what to record or not. It's both. I remember when we start planning our together collaboration with the Houston Symphony, when I was announced as the new music director, one of the important things we wanted to achieve is getting the Houston Symphony more into the international platform, so getting the Houston Symphony sound more close to everyone, more possible to enjoy it. And one of the ways to get this is, I mean, you can do a lot of touring international, but recording is actually quite a good option for that. So this was already in our plan and our dreams. Now the question is how to start. Which composer could be the first one or one of these? And the other thing I always wanted is, and I always still want, is if possible to get known a composer as well as possible. So not recording only one piece, but if possible at least 2 or 3 from the composer. So like giving us the impression we are getting into this process and the creative process and the development of the composer itself. So all this together means at the time we finally have to decide. We decide to go in that direction. Dvorak. Why Dvorak? There are many reasons. First of all, he's a great composer. It's beautiful music. The Houston Symphony tradition and also history has a very strong connection with the romantic composers, and I like this very much. I remember when I came here the first time, I sensed the sound of the orchestra, and I realized the orchestra has a lot of beautiful sounds and a lot of potential there. Still, what I also like it very much is in those potentials was not only the like romantic and the big sound, but also the contrast. So develop and getting more into the details, having more pianos as well as all the fortissimos, having more colors, more articulation, more transparency. And I thought Dvorak is definitely one composer that could be done like this, but normally it has been done, at least in the recordings I know from many other orchestras, more in like this romantic and loud way, and just trying to play everything very extreme romantic. And I believe Dvorak is part of this transition. He's thinking romantic in a way, he's thinking very also nationalistic in a way as well, but it's also coming from the very classical classical tradition, which means after Mozart, after Schubert, Mendelssohn, of course Brahms, and this is not too romantic, this is actually more classical. So what we are trying to get in these recordings, from the aesthetic, from the interpretation point of view, is more this, in a way, the transparency of the Dvorak soul of the Dvorak music. The question is, when you record in our days, the past was different. The past, the normal thing was to record in a studio, and you spend hours and hours of your time recording and paying the musicians and paying everyone for recordings. Those times are kind of in the past, a beautiful memory. So we don't have, first of all, we don't have the money for paying this kind of recordings. But which is even more important, and this is part of the whole idea, the whole structure, the whole progress, and also the main goal is getting the level of the orchestras as higher as possible. This is always the most important thing for a music director. So you were asked why I mentioned this, and it's because indeed playing a recording, a new that you have to play, like tonight for example, a concert which is going to be recorded, and this is the recording, is going to be the CD, ask from you to be absolutely on the edge, so really playing as good as you can, as commitment as you can, as inspired as you can. And all this is what we want to use for our recording. All the inspiration, all the energy, all the concentration. And I prefer at the end more the live recordings for that. Is alive, as the name it says, is live, is really alive, rather than this very, like very strictly, how can you say, professionally and very technically recordings, focus on this being absolutely precise and perfectly. I prefer more the human soul in the recording. So we have spent 3 years, definitely. My first 2 seasons, also the season when I was announced or designated as a music director. And I can tell definitely the orchestra and we together have been developing many things. And one of them is this sense of transparency, this sense of, I call it actually perfection, but perfection in a way that we hear each other better. We make more chamber music, I believe. So the sound is getting more precisely, stronger in a way, but without using only like the powerful playing loud. It's just getting into the soul of the piece, into the articulation. It's like talking. I think now we speak more or less the same language, which was different at the beginning. But this is the process, and this is what makes I think so beautiful recordings, and I can recommend all of them. But honestly, for instance, the number 6, and I start with the number 6 because it's probably the one which is less popular or less well known from all the 4 symphonies we recorded. But I enjoyed very much the working on that recording, on that concert, and on that week, because we really tried, and I think we succeed with searching and finding kind of different colors, different tempi, different articulations compared to past, from recordings from the past. So I think we are on the right way. What we really wanted from the beginning is to get these 4 symphonies, and then at the moment when you start putting together the numbers, just the length of the symphonies, you realize it's actually not possible to get more than this one pairing, this one CD with 7 and 8, and for the other ones you will need two individual CDs. So you have to put some music extra besides the symphony itself. And of course, since we are playing Dvorak, the idea came very easily and kind of spontaneously. Why not? Let's add some Slavonic dances, and I decided to record it 4 of them, beautiful ones, some of them very popular, some other ones less popular. But in the combination, it's just getting all this color, all the Dvorak soul and all this Dvorak style, and this is also part of his music, the Slavonic dances, of course. When I started dreaming in my earlier years as a conductor, as a musician, one of my first dreams was to move to Europe at some point and study there and making music there. This dream became true, but also at the same time I wanted to find a way to come to America at some point. And I remember telling people, this is hopefully going to happen, but it takes time. I want to do my things at first in Europe and then finding the way to connect to the American orchestras and audiences. And this happened. So 4 years ago, I came for the first time to the United States to make a concert with the Houston Symphony, and we connected. Now we are already releasing our first 3 CDs, and next ones are coming soon as well. So all this connection to the new world, to the European world, are part of our history, but from all of us, everyone who went out from your home, is discovering and kind of making your life a big picture. And the big picture in my life is Europe, is America, is Colombia, but it's the music at the end, the constants who put all these facts together. This is indeed always, I think, the big question in a way. At the same time, we all know that Dvorak was here, that Dvorak for sure has kind of melodies or influence in a way. But still, I believe at the very end, and it's not because I believe, because it's also in documents and in many research from really people that know about these things, musicologies and etc., that Dvorak was actually more been like homesick. I think you call homesick. So really nostalgic and more thinking about and you know, like trying to recreate and bring back or feeling closer to his music, his roots, his tradition. So in a way, I think, and this is probably a little bit unpopular, because if you are here in America and here listening to an American orchestra, you would like to say, or you would prefer to feel like this is absolutely an 100% influence composer or influence piece by the American music. But I think again it's more Slavic, it's more Czech, it's more Dvorak himself coming back, but being in America. So it's an interesting combination, and it's what happened to all of us. We are in different places and not in our home, but this became our home, and so we bring all these elements, and at the end it's a blend, it's a mixture of everything. So at the end it's hard to tell what is American, what is not American, but actually it doesn't matter that much. What it really matters is it's a fantastic piece, one of the best ones and one of the most popular for obvious reasons, and this is what actually matters the most, is fantastic music. There are many reasons why the people definitely should get these recordings and come close to this sound. One of these it sounds again probably very romantic, but is have to be done with all our emotions, all our heart. So we put all our energy and efforts to get these recordings as good as possible. This is something that sounds very obvious. It's probably obvious, but I believe this makes this recording something really very special. A lot full of energy, full of passion, and this is beautiful. I think the sound of the orchestra is very interesting. As I said before, the orchestra is sounding in a beautiful combination between the American brilliance, which is expected from an American orchestra, especially from the brass section and the horns, the trumpets, this brilliance of the sound, but at the same time very sensible, very conscious of the whole of the big picture, as I said before, so the whole structure. So it's a really nice combination. It's perfect balance, I think, and also because it's just getting into the beginning of a new time, a new history. I think this is just, I know this is just the beginning of this collaboration with Pentatone, which is the level, and we are very pleased and very happy to have this support and this interest from Pentatone, but this is just the beginning. So if you miss the beginning, you probably are going to be able to understand what is coming later. So you have to listen the beginning, not only to enjoy this one, but also to enjoy even more what is coming next.